In 2009, after 25 years on the market, Volkswagen South Africa finally discontinued the City Golf. It had truly become a people's car, but it just couldn't keep up with safety and emissions regulations. And now, with the cheapest Golf costing over 300,000 Rand, we're left wondering, what is the next people's car? Well, maybe it's this, the Renault Kwid.
Check 'em out. Check 'em out.
Let's get straight to the nitty-gritty. The Renault Kwid is on sale in South Africa for 119,000 Rand. That's it. And right now they're running a special where your installments will come in at under 2,000 Rand per month. That's very affordable. So, what do you get for your money? Where the Renault Kwid impresses is with standard features. Power steering, aircon, a very good aircon actually, a digital instrument display and remote central locking are all standard. And if you opt for the 129,000 Rand Dynamique model, then Renault will throw in this touchscreen, which you'll also find in the Renault Clio. It's a thoroughly modern system. It's got a USB port, an aux jack, Bluetooth, even sat-nav. It really boosts the interior of this little Kwid. But my favorite part is definitely the electric windows. Just take a look at how fast this window is. I mean, I haven't seen that sort of enthusiasm from a window for years. I think they're faster than the car. They should have put these motors in the engine. Then it would have been a hybrid Kwid or a high Kwid. The Kwid also has a boot. And at 300 litres, Renault says it's actually slightly larger than the Kwid's big brother, the Sandero. Annoyingly, the parcel shelf doesn't have any wires holding it up, so it sort of flops down all the time. But as you can see, the boot easily swallows this cooler box and should handle all the baggage for the school run quite easily. You also get an engine. And what an engine! 1 litre, 3-cylinder petrol power, pushing out 50 kilowatts and 91 Newton meters of torque. Those numbers are really small actually, but the Kwid is capable of forward progress, mostly because it only weighs 695 kilograms. I'm not even sure how that's possible. I think I once drove a lawnmower which weighed more than that. So, what does it feel like to drive? Well, it's not uncomfortable. In fact, I was actually expecting it to be a lot more crashier than it is. It's actually quite well damped. But it's not the most dynamic car, even though it's called the Dynamique model. And it doesn't like crosswinds at all. In fact, if you've got a heavy crosswind, you've really got to steer the car against it. And the engine is not that bad. I mean, it kind of keeps up with traffic, especially if it's just one of you in the car, but I can imagine that 4 up in here with some luggage, you are going to struggle up hills. So overall, it's not a terribly cheap experience, and I think Renault can be commended for that. Feels like the kind of engine though where if you make your own engine noises, it becomes a lot more exciting. Wom, 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 wom. Let's have a chat about safety. Now, you might have heard that the Renault Kwid only scored 1 star on the Euro NCAP crash tests. And I'm not that worried about that. What I'm more worried about is the fact that the Kwid doesn't have ABS and doesn't have ESP. Now, an electronic stability program is pretty important. In fact, in Europe, you can't even put a car on sale without ESP. So no ABS, no ESP, and only one airbag for me, the driver. And given that our roads are pretty dangerous, they're a pretty dangerous place to be, I think you want to give yourself the best shot at avoiding being in an accident, and you want a car to potentially look after you if the worst happens. The Renault Kwid is affordable, very affordable. In fact, at a price range starting at 119,000 Rand, you don't have too many other options in the new car market. However, you do have a lot of options in the used car market. I've gone onto the Cars.co.za app, typed in my price range, and a whole bunch of interesting cars have come up from 2015, 2016, 2014 models, Volkswagen Polo Vivos, Volkswagen Ups, Kia Picantos, Chevrolet Sparks, Ford Figos, all cars which are potentially better to drive, they're a bit bigger, they're a bit better made, and importantly, they're probably a lot safer too. So if you really have to drive a new car and you have 119,000 Rand to spend, the Kwid is not that bad. But I do think there's better value out there.